'Cause working in the city was exhausting and she couldn't save any money. The young woman quit her job and returned to her rural hometown. She lived alone in the old house her parents had left behind, living a simple life by herself. She planted rice in the farmland. She grew vegetables and fruits in her own garden. Sometimes she would go to the nearby mountains to pick wild vegetables. In her leisure time, she would make small pastries. Occasionally she would get together with childhood friends, eating wild fruits they had picked under the porch eaves. There weren't many expenses here. She could achieve self-sufficiency through growing vegetables. Although this lifestyle was quite pleasant, she still wasn't sure whether to continue staying in the village. She was clearly still so young. Was she supposed to spend her whole life here? She had been living here for about a year. Due to the heat, there was a lot of steam here. When Annie returned home after shopping, her shirt was already soaked through more than half. This place made Annie feel that if she had fins, she might be able to swim through the air. Annie's rice fields easily sprouted weeds in summer. She had to go weed the fields almost every few days. However, the weeds were very resilient. Even when pulled up by the roots, they would grow back again in a few days. This made Annie both frustrated and helpless. She often thought, the weeds in the field were actually endless. The fields and roads were all covered with weeds. When she returned home, the clothes she had hung out to dry for 2 days still weren't dry. The kitchen utensils had also grown mold. To remove the moisture from the house, Annie started burning a stove in the house. The moisture was evaporated and expelled outdoors through the chimney. The interior became increasingly dry. The stove could do more than just remove moisture. Annie would also use it to bake bread. By the time the moisture in the house was completely gone, the bread in the stove was ready at the same time. A few days later, Annie went to remove weeds as usual. She used a machine to clear them once, then had to manually remove them again. When picking weeds, she would always get so tired her back and waist ached. There were also mosquitoes in the air. Whenever this happened, Annie would think about making some rice wine. She would mix wine yeast with rice porridge together, then let it sit overnight. The next day she would add some more yeast. After a few hours, the rice wine would start bubbling. Then she would filter out the residue. This way, the rice wine was ready. Do you think this kind of life is beautiful?